views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow, everybody, welcome. It is so great to be connecting with all of you. I hope you had a fabulous, fabulous weekend. I know it was like really screeching celebration here in the old hot town this weekend here in the Pacific Northwest. And we want to thank all of you for tuning us in, turning us on. Just an incredible weekend here. As it has been in many other places. But for those of you that do live in the Pacific Northwest, of course, you understand what this weekend has come to mean for so many people. You know, this was the weekend that Seattle and Western Washington celebrated Gay Pride. And, of course, that made it a little super interesting and different because of the latest Supreme Court ruling. So partying was, to put it lightly, people out in the streets and so many people celebrating something that has happened that many people in this country never thought would ever happen. And so it's just one more way to look at the expansive nature of things that are happening in the world today. You know, for many of us, years ago, we didn't even, you couldn't even say the word. And Benny, I know you know this, couldn't even say the word psychic medium. You couldn't even say medium or, intuitive consultant. You couldn't, if you said psychic.
You were considered a freak.
Totally.
Really? You're like, what are you talking about? Get out of my house. I mean,
know.
You were shunned upon.
I know. And then what is her face? Patricia Arquette did that show Medium.
Yeah.
And it really changed the landscape of things, how we looked at things in the world. Now, in the world we live in, when we're talking about psychic medium, we're talking about intuitive consultant, what we've come to know about this, that intuition is in. It is in. One of the things I love about this show and be able to talk about this and introduce you to my friend and colleague, Kelly Ballard, one of the things I love about this is that nowadays in business, this is the fun part of conscious business now, and even unconscious business. Let's talk about both sides of that coin. But even in today's world, business leaders, people in the workforce are realizing the importance of tapping into intuition. And the reason I say that, Kelly's going to talk about this, as well as I am so thrilled to introduce you to who she is, this fourth generation medium and intuitive. Nowadays, being bombarded with so much information, the question is the old habits of logic don't really apply. And they don't for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is if you had to sort through and sludge through, as I like to say, all of the information that is out there that you're being hit with left and right and upside down and sideways, I don't know that any of us would ever make a decision about who we are and what the next steps might be. But Kelly is going to join us here today, somebody working in this field for over 15 years. And she has been somebody that has been known worldwide for her absolutely stunning approach to mediumship. She's a Reiki master, a teacher. She teaches classes on intuitive and mediumship development. And what does that say? That says that this is something that many of us, if we choose to, can learn. But the question is, are we connecting with our spirit guides? Are we using the law of attraction? And if we're not, How do we learn to do that? That's why we've got her joining us here today. Somebody that has been out in the world and has been talking with so many people, developing meditation CDs and helping people all over the world, including children, understand the power of their intuitive nature. And this is something you'll hear about, today on the show. It is so amazing that I get to introduce you to this fabulous ordained minister, life-changing affirmative experience, which you're going to hear about today, which shaped her life. How spirit has come now to tap her on the shoulder and has done this throughout her life. But most importantly, what is it that she has learned to be the person she is, this incredible medium in the 21st century. Kelly, it's great to have you. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad to be introducing you and talking about your upcoming show. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Dr. Pat. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about this. Fourth generation medium and intuitive. Many people don't even know what that means because for so long, right? We have hidden our gifts and talents, but you're a fourth generation medium. I don't think I've ever met a fourth generation medium. Tell us what that is about and how did that start to happen in your family?
Well, it's a very fascinating story, actually. I grew up in a very, very small farming community out in the western part of New York State. And, I think that that area has a nice long history with mediumship, with spiritualism. Out between Buffalo and Rochester in New York State is actually where mediumship got its rise. So I think there's a lot of open-minded people and some forerunners of that type of work that are out in that area. But my story and my experience kind of came more by chance, to be perfectly honest with you. I was a little bit of maybe, we'll say, a precocious 8-year-old. And I was in my parents' home. And I was getting into a little mischief in my father's home office. This was back in the time when there were typewriters, so if that tells you how long ago that was. And I was getting ready to lift the cover off the typewriter to play with it, and I felt somebody watching me. And when I turned around, I expected to see one of my parents, looking at me and, preparing to get in trouble. And when I turned around, I saw my father's mother, who had passed when I was 3 years old, and she was looking at me with a little bit of a scowl on her face, wagging her finger, kind of like, "Oh, don't you be doing this." And that just absolutely, to be honest, it terrified me. Looking at this person of, there's no way that she should be here. I shouldn't be seeing her. This is impossible. And I slammed the cover on that typewriter, ran right through her and up the stairs as fast as my little legs would carry me. And a couple days later, I had an opportunity to talk with my mom's mom, my maternal grandmother, Seal, who, unbeknownst to me, was using these abilities and having this very breathtaking connection with just this divine source. And while I was chatting with her, I asked if I could, tell her something. And she said, well, of course. And I started to tell her that I saw my dad's mom. And I suppose I was expecting her to tell me that my little imagination was running away with itself and that I was full of it. And instead, she got this very cute little smirk on her face. And she started to laugh and said, well, why wouldn't you see her? And her answer was so simple. And that really began this beginning of my very first teacher, my first mentor, and this very amazing relationship that we shared. It was simple ways that she opened up my mind to sense and see things in her home, to feel things. When she was living, she was a very successful Avon lady. And wow. Times during the summer when her little old lady customers would come over to drop off an order or pick an order up, I did practice readings on them. So it was kind of a never a dull moment. And as time grew on and I sort of wanted to kind of figure out, where this fit into my life, the more that we kind of dug and talked about, she had a brother who, when he was living, was my great uncle was a phenomenal medium and a great channeler. Her parents both were involved in this. And shortly before she passed, she had also told me at one point that her parents, her father's mother was, but we have nothing to confirm that with, so I'm not necessarily certain of the accuracy of that.
But it wouldn't surprise you, though. I mean, none of this, kind of when you think about it, right? You think about how people are connected, but you said something really interesting. I want to talk to you about it when we come back from break. You said something interesting. You said, come from a place where people are open-minded. And, that is so absolutely incredible. To be able to talk about. One of the things I want to say, we are going to take your calls today. And I just want to say to all of the folks that call in and want to, work with Kelly right on air, see who's going to show up for you, boy. We're going to tell you that one of you will actually receive a 30-minute phone reading. As a result of today's show, one of you who actually does call in live on air. So what I'd love to be able to do, I want to make sure that you folks have enough time to call into the show. And you know how we do that. We keep Benny so busy. 1-800-930-2819 is our toll-free number, 1-800-930-2819. I want to make sure we get your calls in here. Find out what you want Kelly to help you through her fabulous mediumship, help you either move beyond, understand, or take action in. What are our friends that have passed on? What are they saying to us? How do they try to reach us? And when we come back, we're going to hear about the many ways that they do try to reach us. Now, I am bent on the fact that Linda's mom gets to me by leaving pennies. And believe me, pennies on a floor that weren't there before, and they're either going to be heads up or heads down. When we come back, I'm curious to hear from Kelly what Joan is trying to say. You're listening to Dr. Pat Show. Kelly Ballard is joining me here today. And by the way, I'm going to let you know about how you can find out more about her, how you can connect with her, and what a special gift to be giving a 30-minute phone reading for one of you. I'm not sure who it's going to be. One of you that does call in for a live on-air reading today on the show, 1-800-930-2819. We'll be right back with my very special guest, my colleague and friend, Kelly Ballard. We'll be right back.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Would you like to be a question with anything that comes up in your body or mind? Would you like to become totally aware and begin to function as the conscious being you truly are? Join Access Certified Facilitator Glenna Rice every month for a live teleclass where you can ask all of your questions and learn to create change in any aspect of your life. Visit GlennaRice.com today to learn more and don't miss the next call. Join the questionable conversation today at GlennaRice.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Each month, listen to Live More Radio with co-host Allie Katz. Join Allie and Dr. Pat as Allie introduces new ways to bring balance back to your life through meditation, sleep, and exercise techniques, so you can live your truly authentic life. Stress less, live more. To learn more about Allie, visit livemoreradio.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Naturopathic doctor, founder of the Martha's Vineyard Holistic Retreat, and author of the New York Times bestseller 21 Pounds in 21 Days, Dr. Ronnie DeLuce has helped tens of thousands of people, including celebrities and athletes, with her message of lifestyle change. Now Dr. Ronnie DeLuce wants to help you. You too can be saved. Email Dr. Ronnie DeLuce at info@ronniedeluceonradio.com and visit mtheholisticretreat.com. Dr. Ronnie DeLuce, your partner in wellness.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Song. Beautiful for those of you out there. And I know I know that we are just rocking it today. All the lines are filled. Mr. Benny is going to be working just wonderfully for us and for you and for Kelly. But I wanted to make sure that, Kelly, folks know how to get a hold of you directly. So before we go to the phones, before we chit-chat, tell me a little bit about the best website for people to go to, how they can schedule readings with you. Give us an idea of all of that.
Absolutely. Best way to get a hold of me is through my website, and that's www.reflectiveharmony.com. You can also reach me. I have a contact form on there that you can connect with me at. I have a lot of clients that also reach me by phone, which is totally fine as well. You can reach me at area code 518-461-7959, and I'm also can be found on Facebook. And easy ways to get a hold of me. And I would love to connect in with any of your loved ones on the other side and bridge that connection. Spread a little love, spread some good energy between you and spirit.
Sweet. Now, before we jump to the phones, because we've got people waiting to chat with you, let's talk about this idea of signs or symbols. Or, I shared that I am so clear that Linda's mom leaves me pennies. And Linda said to me, well, how do you know that? Well, I don't know that I don't know that I know that, but I just feel that that's it. And I did tell you that one day I came out of the doctor's office and I went to my car and there was a $20 bill. So sometimes pennies, sometimes $20 bills. Is this the way that one of the ways, is this one of the ways that those our loved ones that have moved on communicate with us, and are there other ways?
So, Dr. Pat, there are lots of ways that our spirit loved ones on the other side get our attention. Pennies, nickels, quarters, dimes, all ways that I hear from spirits. As I was joking with you, I've yet to receive a dollar bill or a 20 myself. I'm still waiting for that. But very, very easy ways. I tell my clients also pay attention to the year on the coin, because a lot of times the spirit will even take, my father's mother, for example, leaves me pennies that have 1983 on them, and that's the year that she passed away. So these are really, there's so many little symbols and niches that you can look into with that. They love to give us signs with birds. They use cardinals, hawks, blue jays, crows. They love to use birds to get our attention as well. I can't tell you how many stories that I've had from people telling me about a bird tapping at their window, or a bird flying in their house, or driving and seeing hawks traveling along with them and knowing that was a loved one, encouraging them, telling them they're going into the right direction. They love to use music and songs. I have lots of clients who will tell me about turning on, let's say, like an oldies station, and then all of a sudden having a song that shouldn't be played on there coming on that's connected in with that loved one. So they just find any little way that they can to let us know I'm around, I'm here. And some spirits that are even a little bit more, we'll say bold in a good way, can even produce what we call physical phenomena. So whether it's catching a glimpse of your loved one out of the corner of your eye, maybe hearing your voice being called, hearing somebody walking in your home, it's endless of how they can work with you and what they can do.
Well, and this is part of what you and I were just talking about here before. And I said to you, for me, I'm pretty clear about it that it's Joan. But, I'm going to go look at the penny. I kept it that I picked up the other day. And I'm going to go look at that to see what the year is. Now, we have callers that have just filled up the phones wanting to chat with you. Let's go to the phones, Mr. Benny. Let's see who we've got.
All right, we can do that. We'll travel down to T-Town in Tacoma. We have Diane joining us. So, Diane, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
I haven't had to read or anything of that nature in a long time.
Oh, everyone's all excited? Getting the angels talking to the phone.
I was just going to say it's all spirit.
That's okay.
It's all spirit.
Diane, do you have a particular question, or do you just want Kelly to jump in here?
I was listening to her talk about the angels, and I will say this is going to get me emotional, is that my older brother passed on last year. It's been almost a year in September. And I just want some clarity on his, what's going on and what that connection was between he and I.
Well, Diane, there's a couple things. And the only thing I'm going to ask you for is just your brother's first name. It gives me something to kind of ping and grab his energy a little louder, if you don't mind.
Tim.
And what's his first? Tim, you said? Thank you. Perfect. As I reach in with Tim's energy, there's a couple things that are coming through initially with him. There's a strong pull that I feel a connection of the two of you of almost being very intuitive with each other, of being able to speak each other's language, of being able to see eye to eye about things, being able to really grasp each other on a much, much higher level. It's interesting because I find a lot of times with people too that when you're reading for siblings in that sense, that there's a deeper connection. I believe strongly that we always travel within the same soul circle. So wherever we're headed in a life before this, a life afterwards, our souls are always intertwined and connected. So you have kind of a natural draw there, but I am hearing from him, there's always been a partnership between the two of you, and there's always been a connection of the two of you being able to lean on the other one. He gives me a lot of complications around his passing in the sense that even though he may have thank you. He's telling me that even though he may have left here very abruptly, very quickly, he gives me a sense that there was part of an inkling always inside of him that he didn't see himself being here a long time. And sometimes I feel like people can sense that in a very intuitive way. Sometimes it's just a feeling that we get all of a sudden. But he's telling me that a lot of the work that he was put here to do, he's really been able to achieve that now as a spirit. Sometimes that doesn't always make our hearts here feel, a lot better because we miss our loved ones and whatnot. But he's telling me a lot of the stuff that he was put here to do, to accomplish, he's kind of got to be over there to have a little bit of that extra energy to be able to get his fingers dirty in a different way. And on top of that, he keeps showing me dominoes in front of me right now, and I feel like you are represented as these dominoes, and I see him trying to basically get you all lined up so that very, very easily he can give you a nudge and let everything start falling into place. He's saying you've gone too long with the chaos, you've gone too long with things feeling scattered. He's trying to bring some ease into your life now, and he sends much love to you as well.
Wow. Well, okay. My gosh. I just thought that there, in the physical world, that there was an estrangement between us for whatever reason. I accept what you're saying, and to get through the scatteredness and all the craziness and the way I've been living over the last few years, which has been exciting and very adventuresome. But I do want some things to start falling into place.
Well, and this may also be part of a way for him of being able to, again, kind of what he's saying is, the work that I've got to do, what I've been put here to accomplish and to help with, I have to do over here now, and I have to give that nudge here now. And even though that there's a connection, he shows like, hey, we're always going to be intertwined. We're always going to have a partnership. We're always going to have a connection there. I think sometimes some of the greatest gifts that we can learn and what we can take are sometimes from the toughest relationships that we have at the same time. But the one thing that he keeps reinforcing to me is how intertwined that the two of you are, and just that connection, that being in that same soul circle. And he gives that with a lot of love to you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best.
Wow, thank you. Well, that was amazing. Kelly, oh my goodness. One of the things that I'd love to do is we've got folks calling into the show. For those of you out there, 1-800-930-2819. Please give us a shout. We will try to, get you on here as quickly as we can. But right now, let's do this. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll go right back to the phones. Busy day for Mr. Benny and for Kelly. When we come back, we'll also let you know how you can schedule your personal time with Kelly. What we do on air is a very short version of the full expansive nature of her gifts. Let's take a short break, everyone. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.
Are you feeling stressed, in pain, disconnected, worried about aging? Corrective alignment and integration therapy restores health. Move your body, which frees your mind and elevates your spirit. Bodywise Bodywork LLC provides the tools you need to create the change you've been waiting for. Start living a fully present and integrated life. Book your 15-minute consultation online at www.bodywisebodywork.com. Bodywise Bodywork LLC, because it's the only body you've got.
In retirement, will you have enough money to live life on your terms? Everyone has retirement questions. Ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeff Packman about the new Confident Retirement Approach. You and Jeff can break down retirement planning step by step to get the real answers you need. In fact, 93% of clients who've had the Confident Retirement Approach conversation feel more confident about their retirement. Call Jeff Packman, financial advisor, at 425-453-0272 for your Confident Retirement conversation today. Office is located at 601 108th Avenue Northeast, Suite 1800, Bellevue, Washington, 98004. Percentage based on Ameriprise Financial Confident Retirement Client Survey as of December 2013. The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. A registered investment advisor, Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
I'm Christine Upchurch, and this is a Stellar Reflections Minute. As a former research statistician, my scientific background is what many would call sensible. For more than a decade now, I have been working in the field of energy medicine, facilitating sessions and teaching around the world. People from the mainstream often ask me, how did a sensible woman like you end up working in such an alternative field? Implicit in their question is the underlying assumption that the field of subtle energy, such as energy healing and intuition, isn't sensible. But I believe it is very sensible. Even scientists are able to measure aspects of this. Approaching life from an energetic perspective brings us new opportunity for healing and transformation. And from a practical standpoint, even if you can't rationally explain how something works, if you experience a shift from it, then doesn't it make it pretty sensible? Please visit StellarReflections.com or call 425-999-9836. That's 425-999-9836.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Every chance you get, you seem to hurt me more and more. But each hurt makes my love stronger than before. Ain't that cute?
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I am so thrilled to be introducing all of you to an amazing, amazing individual that said yes to taking her gifts out into the world. Kelly Ballard joining me here today, 1-800-930-2819 if you want to connect with folks that have moved on. Kelly, before we go go back to the phones, would you please let folks know again how to find you on your website, Facebook, and phone number, and how to schedule a session with you one more time?
Absolutely. You can find me anytime online at www.reflectiveharmony.com. You can find me on Facebook at Kelly M. Ballard or Reflective Harmony LLC. And you can also call me, and you can reach me at area code 518-461-7959. And I'd be happy to connect in with any of you to set up an appointment to talk with your loved ones, to give you some healing, some good energy from those ones on the other side.
Wow. Amazing. For those of you out there that are attempting to call in, please give us a shot. We will get to the phones as soon as we can. 1-800-930-2819. Mr. Benny, where to next?
All right, we'll travel eastward, and we'll have the grand state of Delaware, the first one in our United Union, let's say. Oh. Right?
Nice.
December 7th, 1787 is when the state was declared as part of our union.
Nice, Benny.
There's a little stat for
Hello?
you. Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Lynn. How are you?
Hello. Oh, good. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. I'd like you to meet my friend Kelly.
Hi, Lynn. How are
I'd like to meet Kelly, too. Very nice. Thank you.
Lynn, what can I do for you today? Is there a loved one I can pick up on for you?
Well, I said, I asked my guides and angels to deliver messages that would most serve me. But as I'm sitting here talking, I'm going, you know what? I feel like babying myself a little. I would love to hear. Both my parents passed away within the last 2 years, one after the other. And I know that my grandmas are near me often. And if I could hear from one of them, that would be awesome. And if I just hear from my guides and angels, that would be awesome as well.
Well, Lynn, I'll tell you, as soon as you started talking, I felt a very strong maternal energy around you. And it sort of made me laugh because this lady's spunky. She has all this kind of sass. She was a firecracker when she was here. She's got one of those personalities that I think could be very loving, very nurturing, but she knew how to put her foot down with people. If she gave you a look, she could give you I hate to say kind of like that hairy eyeball, but it's almost like this mom look that could say 1,000 words. And it's interesting to me because it's not that I want to say she was somebody that picked favorites, but she's giving me a sense that she definitely had family members that she pulled close. And I keep feeling her taking her arm and tugging me into her side. And I feel like that she's taking her arm around you and tugging you and trying to show me here that you were one of the ones that she pulled close. I keep getting this sense with her as well that she's showing you kind of, I hate to say bending over backwards in that sense, but there was a lot of things that you did for her before she left here, and she was not someone who liked to ask for help. She was not somebody that wanted people to fuss with her, to take care of her. I get a very she enjoyed wearing that matriarchal crown. She enjoyed sort of being the one that everyone could rely on and depend on. And I think it was difficult for her to sort of say, I need a little help now. I need a little TLC now. I need someone to give me a little bit of something. And you did a wonderful job. Thank you. Actually, there were a number of caregivers she's showing me here. You guys had a good team around her, she's telling me, that did a good job of not only making her feel very empowered, but I also feel there's an energy with her of, you gave her a lot of dignity and she still felt like she was in charge. And she's sort of chuckling at me because she's saying, even though there was very little that I could do, at times, I still felt like I had control over all of it. Now, Lynn, the other little piece that she's giving me here quickly is I also keep seeing a 3-leaf clover, not 4 leaves, 3 leaves. I'm not sure if she's trying to show me that there's a connection with an Irish heritage. Clover for me symbolically always represents abundance in that sense, and durability in that sense. So I feel like that there's also something that she's trying to give to you. There's a sense of abundance, and this does feel Okay, thank you. This does feel financial, what she's showing me that's coming in. And there's something about you are more, I love she's calling you durable. There's more, you are more durable now, present day, than you've been in a while. And she's proud of that. She kind of feels like she's helping to support a little of that back, that durability as well. So I leave her with you with much love. Thank you so much for sharing her.
What do you think about that?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I feel like overwhelmed with emotion and tears of joy. I mean, I couldn't expect such a reading. It's just,
Kayla, it's all you. You have the open energy. You brought your person along. You make my job easy. It's all you.
Everybody says that, and it would be my joy to develop the gifts and the energy that I have, and to be steered in the right direction. And I'm glad that my mom is proud of me, because it's not something she expressed while she was here.
Well, that's the great thing about being on the other side is all your judgment's gone. The human ego's gone. Your heart is just able to open up and be filled with so much compassion and love. It's sometimes easier to say the words that we had a harder time saying when we were here. And, she's spunky. She's sassy. This woman knew how to hold her own. But I love spirits like
I know that you got her because she is spunky. She is, and she's a tough cookie. She fought the effects of several different cancers for 25 years, and she lived life. She lived life. She didn't live with cancer. She lived life in spite of it.
Absolutely. Well,
and I'm glad to have played a part in making that happen for her.
Wow. This is so exciting. Oh, my gosh. I'm just I'm getting chills right here, right now. Thank you so much for calling into the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Kelly, it's amazing, isn't it?
I love what I get to do for a living. Sometimes you just have those days where you pinch yourself like, this is what I get to do. And it's great, feeling the personalities of spirits and, listening to what they have to say. And it's really just like picking up a phone and having a conversation with someone. So it's never a dull moment in the most wonderful of ways.
Wow. Well, let's take another caller because we've got folks that continue to call into the show here. Mr. Benny, where do you want to go next?
Yeah, we'll stay here locally. We'll travel out to Mercer Island. We have David joining us. David, welcome to the show.
Hello, Pat and Kelly. Thank you so much for the wonderful topic.
David.
That's always on point. Hello.
Oh, great to hear from you. How can we help you today?
I am wondering about one of my great aunts, Rose, and I'm trying to do something in her honor. And I'm just wondering what her feeling is about that and who I should pursue further with to manifest something that really would honor her and the person she was or is.
So, David, when you said Rose, I immediately got a very nervous energy in my belly from her, almost like if you were to fuss over her this way while she was living, that she would get very embarrassed and feel very, almost like, I hate to say uncomfortable, but like a little uncomfortable about it, that there's this very kind of sweet, humbled energy that I feel with her. I'll say this to you. One of the things with spirits is anything that gives us, as the humans, peace, happiness, joy, closure, contentment, they're all for it. So if this is something for you that is giving you, you feel like you're doing right by her, you feel like you're honoring her, she's like, all right, let's do it. Let's go for it. But there's definitely, I need to be honest and express to you, there's definitely a little bit of this shyness, a little bit of this feeling of like, oh, he doesn't have to do that for me. No. Like getting like very bashful in that sense. It was interesting to me though, because I felt like that as you were doing this, I don't know if this is going to be how you're choosing to honor her, if this is going to be something that you're able to repeat, or that it has the potential to keep growing in a capacity. But I feel like there's this sense of feeling regular. Like I keep hearing the word from her, routine. So I feel if this is, I think you're going to get an incredible amount of joy from this gesture. And the feeling that I have is how this is going to change your life and how you're going to feel from this. Be sure that you don't box it into something small, that it has the potential to grow and to it's not like a pay it forward, but I just keep feeling like spreading more joy, like spreading more happiness. It makes my heart feel very soft and very comforted when I feel this. And it's not necessarily her saying make a big deal out of it. And I want to be clear of that. But I feel like she's saying, if this is something that you want to do, wait till you see how this makes you feel. Like it's going to be more about you than her, but carry forward that feeling that you'll get from this. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was interesting also because is there also a piece of jewelry that you've inherited of hers? I have something small, like the size of I feel more like an earring, like costume jewelry, like an earring. I have something I can feel her placing in my hand that has a smoother feel, and then I can feel like metal edges around it, like the size of like an earring, like a clip-on earring, like costume jewelry. And I'm not sure if she's acknowledging you have something that was hers, like a piece of jewelry, or this is incorporated in what you're doing, but she keeps placing it into the palm of my hand and making sure that I mention it to you. But there's only one of them. There wouldn't be a pair to this.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'll have you...
That sounds very good. Have I what?
Oh, I was just going to say, she says, spread that love out. Expand what you're doing. Spread that love out and expand it forward.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds very much like her. She was very bashful, but she was very hospitable. And that gives me good clarity on how to approach this. And it is something that will allow to spread happiness and joy in magnificent ways.
Wow. Wow, how cool is that, David? That's amazing, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Wow.
It's
I love this.
amazing what she's doing.
I love it. Well, David, thank you so much for calling in. Mr. Benny, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Lisa, New York, we will get to you. For those of you that are just tuning in, oh, my goodness. I know you're going to want to go back and listen to this show today. Kelly Ballard joining me here today. And, boy, this is just the beginning of so much more you're going to get to experience. Kelly is going to be hosting her own show, and you're going to be able to do this. Oh, my goodness, on a regular basis, everybody. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.
Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. Anxiety is in many ways a learned behavior, which is rooted in our childhood. During our early years, when we are the most dependent on others, negative feedback, judgment, or ridicule infiltrate our subconscious mind and leave us wondering whether we are really safe, lovable, or good enough. In response, a part of our mind develops protective strategies to keep us from getting hurt. Let's imagine that the anxiety you've been battling with stems from the part that has assumed the job of keeping you safe. Doesn't it then make sense that your anxiety makes you expect the worst, so that you are prepared, keeps you on your toes to avoid failure, or shames and belittles you before someone else can do this to you? When you consider the source of your anxiety as a vulnerable child that just tries to keep you safe, you no longer feel that you're the victim of your own mind, but instead are more easily able to take on the role of the caring, reassuring adult.
Wondering how to play the game of life and actually win? Stop wondering and start willing the game of life with the unique and incomparable Lynn Brown. As an intuitive healer and experienced business manager, Lynn can help you live your life to its full potential. To learn more about Lynn, visit ruintuit.com. That's the letter R, letter U, intuit.com.
Welcome to Smile Big, nominee of Seattle's Top Dentist Awards. Here at Smile Big, we offer restorative, cosmetic, and preventative dentistry. Some of our regular dental services include tooth-colored fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, bleaching, cosmetic bonding, and complete smile restoration. Dr. James Rosenwald and Dr. Susan Abdiner won't be smiling until you are smiling. Call now to schedule a visit with Seattle's top dentists. Our number is 425-454-4040. You can even visit our website at smilebig.com.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatShow.com for listening times in your area. The following audio is via a Skype call.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. For those of you that have been listening to the show, yep, I know you're amazed. I know you're amazed. And as I am amazed, because Kelly Ballard is in the house. And so for those of you out there, we've given you lots of information on how you can connect with Kelly and much more. Right now, we know we've got a couple of people waiting. Mr. Benny doing a fabulous, fabulous job. And so let's hit him up, Mr. Benny. Who would you like to go to?
Yeah, we'll take Lisa calling in from New York. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for taking my call. I have been a fan of yours for years, and I am so happy to be able to talk to you today. I am going through a lot of issues with my job, and I was wondering what my dad thinks about it and if he has any advice for me or any idea of where things are going to end up.
Sure. What's Dad's name?
Bill.
So it's very interesting, Lisa, when you were starting to talk and kind of pulling Dad's energy in here. This is right now, 2015 as a year is a very, very big year of metamorphosis, of transformation for people. And there's sort of this beautiful, beautiful energetic current that is happening within this year. And one of the things that a spirit has been saying to me pretty consistently with a lot of clients and my students is that by us just simply making the choice to step into this current, surrendering to spirit, being open, attracting the good juju, whatever you want to call it, it's just changing a thought pattern shifts you into that. And it's funny because when your dad was living, I feel like that he would have been somebody that would have been a little bit more concrete and said, well, stick something out, tough your way through it. Not tough love, but I think would have been more, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of a mentality. And what's interesting to me is pulling Dad's energy in, there's very much of this feel with him of saying, I'll carry her, tell her, let me pick her up. Let me move her into this. I'll walk her into this. He keeps extending a hand out to me, wanting me to place my hand in his. And it is sort of funny, Lisa, because he's kind of dragging you a little bit. So I do get that there's a little smidge of reluctance that you've been feeling about kind of making this change, even though it's something that is a necessity. It's going to be taking you. Thank you. He says it's going to be taking you into a whole other new area and a whole other new foreign territory. But I feel like for you, this is foreign territory. This is going to be one of the first times. This is going to feel refreshing. It's going to feel comfortable. Almost like, what was I so afraid of? What was I fearing about going into this? I've got this. And it's this confidence that I feel. If there's one thing that could stand out to me about your dad, I think it's a part of him. He was a man that didn't let people know he was sweating. Do you understand?
Yep. I definitely do.
And it cracks me up because I feel like with him, you've inherited that same ability. He's saying, I'm not going to let anybody see she's sweating, and I'm not going to let anyone see that she's nervous. But I feel like he's also wanting to remind you, I have the capability to, help you through this now. And maybe when I was here, I might have told you, come on, toughen up. Or as I like to say, pull up the big girl panties, stick with what you're doing. But I think the great thing about this is that he's saying now, let's do some change. You're long overdue for this. Let's go. Let's bring this on. And I think that you're going to see as you're getting into September, all of this is smoothing out, but don't fear doing something very different because I think that this is going to be kind of the happy ending that you've been kind of waiting for, that you've been sitting on. And talk to Dad, call him in, tell him you need him. If you're not feeling him enough, Dad, louder, talk to him because he wants to help you any way that he can.
Do you think he's leading me towards a new position or to make changes in my current position?
This felt brand spanking new because there was this human ego fear of, oh my gosh, what if I can't do this? What if I'm not good enough? I don't know these people. All those jitters that we get. And he's looking at this oh no, we need this because if you just tweak where you are now, nothing's going to change entirely. You're going to go back into a same pattern. So it's time to shake it up. It's time to spread your wings, see what else is there for you. But he's got you. He is carrying you through this.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And Lisa, I'd love to gift you with the 30-minute phone reading.
That would be great.
Awesome. Wow. That's special. So,
great.
Lisa, do me a favor and do not hang up, okay? Because what we want to be able to do is let Benny get some information from you while we go ahead and take our next caller. So just stay on the line if you could.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa, so much. And we'll round things out with Donna calling in from Marysville. Donna, welcome to the show.
Hey, Donna.
Thank you. Hi, Pat. Hi, Kelly.
Hi. Donna, what can I do for you today?
I have
on.
Pardon?
Is there someone I can check in on for you today?
Yes, a really very close friend of mine who committed suicide a few years back, and I just want to make sure he's okay. Really.
Donna, I would be
a lot of questions.
Sure. And what's his first name?
Billy.
Donna, as you were starting to talk, I did feel a male presence that was coming through. And the first word that I heard with him was complicated. And it's interesting because I think some of the most evolved spirits that I've ever talked to are those who've taken their own lives and their journey and their story and what they were put here to do and accomplish and to teach is amazing. And a lot of those blanks for you will be filled in many, 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 many years down the road when you guys can reconnect on the other side. But if there's one thing that I can say to you about about Billy's personality and his energy is there's very much of this confidence with him. Before he left here, there's a lot of confusion. I'm not thinking clearly, not seeing himself through the eyes that I think other people were seeing him. He was a man that was very good also at wearing masks in that sense. So it's sort of, yes, thank you. And although he is saying you were one of the few people that knew how to pull up the layers, do you understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, Donna, because when I tune into his vibration, one of the things that I get with him is he's like pulling up shirt sleeves and like tying them up and saying to me, hey, look at everything that we've got to do now, everything that we have to do going forward. You know, it's all about accomplishing a bigger goal, helping you to live the life that you were put here to live. And I think that for him specifically, he's somebody that came here, he taught the lessons that he needed to teach, he learned everything that he needed to learn, and the rest of the work that he was put here to do, which is actually similar to another caller earlier, he can do that from where he is now. But what's different about him is I feel like he's affecting something on a bigger scale, and I see that there's a pool of friends around him that he's kind of still trying to get his fingers in and sort of write them, that there's a little bit of disconnect around. And I see him trying to kind of make this a little bit smoother and blend that together. So he's busy. I mean, he's going in every which direction, but it's where he feels like that he needs to be in that sense. And there's also a few people that need to learn some lessons by watching him at this, like by his legacy in that sense as well. So there's definitely a very evolved connection with him. He's happy, he's vibrant, he's very easy to listen to in that sense. And I will tell you this, I don't know if he was a cigarette smoker, but I have cigarettes I can smell very strongly under my nose right now that he's giving me. And I don't know if this is you or someone in the group, but he's saying he wants you to watch for the cigarette smell. This is something that I feel like for him is like would catch someone's, like I'm not a smoker, so smelling that in my house is very foreign in that set. Smelling that in my office, very, very foreign. And I see him trying to use that smell to get someone's attention very strongly, like pay attention. Wow. And he does say to pay attention a little sternly. So I don't think this is to you. I believe this belongs to another male in this circle.
Okay. There's a group of us.
Male energy in your group needs to pay attention, and there's a cigarette connection.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you, Donna, for sharing.
Thank you so much. Wow, Kelly, we have just zipped through the time warp here today on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. And Lisa, by the way, if you're out there, please call us back. We want to make sure we can get a hold of you and give you some, give you that reading from Kelly. Kelly, thank you so much. We have about a minute. Let folks know your website again. And please, 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 what is the best way for people to get a hold of you directly?
Sure. My website is www.reflectiveharmony.com. That's one of the easiest ways to get a hold of me. You can fill out the contact form, and I'll get back to you via email ASAP.
Awesome. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me here today. Kelly's got a fabulous show coming up. We want to make sure all of you know about it. For those of you out there, don't touch that dial. You know why? We're not done for today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Dr. Pat Show.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against pulled me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head and a trouble that can be made.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.